All right, so here's our first problem. We've got our checklist over here on the side, and we are going to start out with parentheses. So what I kind of like to do when I'm working on these problems is I like to just kind of color code them. If you have some markers or colored pencils handy, that can be pretty helpful. So I'm going to start out with red because that's the color that we've chosen for parentheses. And I see that we've got parentheses right here in the beginning of the problem. And what I would recommend is you just take a sticky note or something to somehow mark off the parts of the problem that you aren't using right now. So I'm just going to draw a box around the rest of the problem. We're going to ignore that for now, and we're just going to focus on the red part. So 54 minus 6 is what we're working on. And you can do that off to the side, or you can use a calculator. 54 minus 6, that gives me 48. Okay, so now we need to make sure that we replace everything in the red circle with the number 48. And then what we really need to remember is that everything that we put in that black box right there, we need to rewrite down below. So inside the box, we have minus 6 plus 7 squared. Okay, so now I'm going to look at my checklist. Let me get rid of this work over here. I'm going to look at my checklist and I'm going to see what step I'm on. I just finished the parentheses step, so I can check that off. And the next step, we have exponents. So I'm going to grab my orange highlighter and I'm going to look for exponents. So I'm reading this, 48 minus 6 plus 7 squared. Okay, I see this tiny 2 right here, so that tells me that that's the exponent part. I'm going to do the same thing I did above. I'm going to draw a box around the part of the problem that I'm not using right now, and I'm only going to focus on what's inside the orange circle. So 7 squared. Remember that the exponent tells you how many times you multiply that base number by itself. So 7 squared is the same as 7 times 7, which equals 49. So everything inside that orange circle is now going to be replaced by the number 49. And now I can go ahead and rewrite everything that was in that black square. So 48 minus 6 plus. All right, so we're done with exponents. I can check that off. Next is multiplication or division, and I don't see any of that, so we can skip that step. The next thing that we have is addition or subtraction. So let's see. Remember that we need to look at what goes first when we're moving from left to right. So as I move, I see subtraction comes first, so that's the first thing I'm going to do. And let me put that black box around the rest of the problem. Okay, 48 minus 6 is going to give me 42. And then I'm going to rewrite everything that was in the black box. And now I have a very simple addition problem. 42 plus 49. And that gives me an answer of 91. And I always like to circle my answers because when we have all of this work here, it's hard to see what your answer is. So I'm going to circle it so we know 91 is the answer. And I can check off my last checkbox and I am done with number 1.